welcome back to another episode of Cats Cup Podcast. You're here with your hosts, Christian, Justin, me being Cody Green, and Blake Ramey. How are we doing tonight, boys?
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
We're doing awesome, man. How about you? Is it hot where you're at there, Christian?
Just a little bit. It's a little cloudy today, but it's been hot.
Cloudy.
It's a little cloudy today, but it's been hot, so we're all good.
As long as it ain't raining, it's good.
Yeah, it did a little bit earlier, but we're fine.
Okay.
So, but since I've been down here in Florida, the Cats in football, they've gotten some really good recruits in the past 3 or 4 days. Big one yesterday in Cedric Works. I may have had my boys up in Ohio talking to them, getting them down here with the Cats. So, So, Cody, what do you think about the pickup?
4 or 5 pickups, and one of the pickups was a top 100 player in the country. We don't ever hardly do that. So and I think he was from Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right on that? Or
No,
he's from Ohio. He's from Ohio.
He's near Cincinnati.
Yeah, it don't matter. Same place. But it's I feel like he's when you really look at him, he looks like he's really lengthy. He's got a long wingspan, and obviously he's tall. He's 6'4", 220 edge. He's from Clayton, Ohio. There you go, Clayton. I don't know where that's at, but
Cincinnati.
Same place. Number 86 nationally ranked player in the country. He's the 11th best edge and 6th best player in Ohio. I think that was probably obviously the best pickup of the week. He picked us over just a couple: Florida, Penn State, Boston College, Cincinnati was just the first ones that popped up. But you had him and Preston Bowman from Ohio. Then you had DeMarcus Gardner from Georgia, cornerback. Nicholas Smith, the defensive lineman out of Georgia, and Brian Augustine from Florida. So you had a couple of good recruits come in. So I think that puts you nationally 23rd in the country in recruiting for next year now. So, and 24th. Okay.
Yeah, we moved down. We were actually 23rd there for a little bit, but we moved down one spot. I believe some other teams have gotten some more recruits here lately. But we have moved up quite a bit in just the last week. We were 40th for the 2025 class. Now we're up to 24 after few big moves. But like you were saying, Cody, about Cedric Works, dude is massive. Like 6'5", man. He's going to be a monster coming off the edge. So I'm excited for him and Brian Robinson to be duo in that. That's going to be a fun duo to watch. And then, like you said, Bowman, it's going to be a good pickup. He's from Ohio. So the pipelines are going pretty strong in football. We've got a newer one in Florida. It feels like we've been getting quite a few Florida kids.
Yeah.
Got a few this year and a few next year. But the Ohio one, man, it's continuing to grow, and I love to see it because, like you said earlier, we're starting to get these top 100 players, and a lot of these top 100 players are in the states like Ohio and Florida and Texas. So if we ever get one in Texas, it's gonna be going.
Since you mentioned Texas, I was going to mention 3 players that I think that Kentucky will probably end up getting. I think your favorite out of the 3 is Javon Campbell. He's from Western Hills in Frankfort. He's a nationally ranked 109th edge, 6'5", 265. And I think that and Andrew Marsh, he's a wide receiver from Texas. He is ranked 67th nationally in the country. So him, and then Dwayne Galloway, he's from Columbus, Ohio, another Ohio guy. So it's gotten over the years really easy for Vince Marrow to recruit in the Ohio area. I feel like that's where most of our recruits come out of.
That's where they're from, so it's like they're going back to their old stomping ground. Stoops, he's from Youngstown, which is up there in northeast Ohio.
Yeah, basically. So it's really easy for them to recruit on that. Justin, thoughts on the recruits?
Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you guys, man. I think I'm with you fellers. No, I think it's great. I think we've had a great success this year in recruiting. We've definitely moved up in most recent years, just on the heels of what Cody said. I mean, with Cedric Works being, being a top 100 recruit. So yeah, I think that's good. Bless me. Looking forward to the season starting up. I believe we're in for a good year. So what about you, Blake?
Yeah, Blake.
You sound like guys that can play football, and that's good on a football team. You want football players. You know,
Exactly.
the better players you have, the better off the team is. So, sounds good to me. I know we're a lot better than we were 10 years ago.
That's a fact.
It's a fact.
That's facts.
But continuing on football, big announcement, guys. Here in the future, sometime next week, we will be having a special guest by the name of Kelvin Joseph, former DB for the Kentucky Wildcats. So he will be on our next episode. So tune into that. We'll be on. Yeah, Cody over there snapping. We'll be live on our normal platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and then we'll be airing on the big one, 106.3 on Saturday at 10 o'clock.
Shout out to Brian. Oh, Brian. We love you, Brian. We love you, Brian.
Whoa there. Calm it down there, Cody.
Sorry. I got carried away.
Yeah. But here, let's have a little more debate on the football team that we have going on. Not presidential, but we'll debate on the Kentucky football team. But next year's class is looking pretty stout. I mean, we've got. Let me see how many 4-stars we got coming in next year. We've got 4 4-stars already.
No.
Yeah, we got Marquise Davis.
Bush. You can thank my uncle for this. He was the mastermind behind this, so it was. I totally agree with his setup. I love it. So
it's pretty awesome. I'm not.
Is that a Dane Key jersey?
That is a Dane Key jersey. I looked at that. That is a Dane Key jersey. Yes.
That's tough.
And then this jersey actually is signed by Reed, Jeff, and they're all signed by all three of them.
Hey,
Interesting.
Trio. The trio.
Awesome, yeah.
So
that's awesome. Yeah, but Bush just brought up a good point in the comments. He says, and 2 more are about to commit. So I mean, Vince Marrow, since football season ended last year, he has been on a mission to make this team a lot better. Him and Stoops have been in their bag, getting the best of the best across the nation. But like next year, we've got Cedric Works, Quentin Simmons Jr., Martellus Carter Jr., and Marquise Davis. They're all 4-stars. And we haven't even started this football season for 2024, so who knows who else we're going to get between now and the start of next year. So I'm excited, boys.
I am too, which I think that it kind of surprised me when we got Cedric Works. It was I think it was probably a surprise to everybody. I didn't think that he was on our radar. It's going to surprise a lot of people.
See, over the past week and a half, I mean, there's been a lot of mention that he's been high on Kentucky over the last little bit. I mean, it got a little more spicier. It was getting a lot spicier on Twitter about him coming to Kentucky. So, I mean, you've seen that his name get mentioned a lot more. He visited and then, got the deal done. That's all that matters.
It was spicy, guys. Spicy.
Yeah, it was heating up. Oh, boys, let me tell you about this. Just a little side note before I leave, because I'm only staying for just a second. But so me and Drew, we set a trap out here in the lake, or big whatever this is behind us, because we got water over here behind
the river.
No, it ain't a river. I don't know what kind of body of water it is, because the
ocean.
Ocean's like it's like an ocean and a river meet. It's kind of cool. Like, this is fresh water behind us, but you go a little bit.
An over?
Gotcha.
An over?
Quit making up words.
A ribbon?
But, so we set a trap. We caught a fish in it overnight because we put a bunch of shrimp and some, I don't remember what else we put in there, but we put some stuff in there in it. And we trapped this one fish. Me and Shelby pulled it out of the water. It had the face of a catfish, but the body of a salamander. Never seen anything like it.
Interesting.
Did you take a picture of it?
No.
We don't believe you.
No,
yeah,
you can ask
these fish stories.
Heather has Shelby. I'm not lying. You ask them. I wouldn't get on Cat's Cut. The most professional and trustworthy source
Yeah.
of news
Yeah.
and come in here and lie to you guys. You can ask them. Swear, it looked weird. My phone, I left my phone inside because I was just like, I'm going to go check it. Didn't think we'd have anything, so I checked it a few times, and nothing was there. And it was there, and then Drew comes in to look at it. It's gone. Something got it. Because the
Wow.
cage was kind of,
The cage? What kind of cage you keeping it in? You still got it?
like a
You still
trapping
got
cage.
it?
Have you ever seen one, Liam?
What did you?
You don't know how to trap stuff. You don't just.
I didn't
put a
know.
line
I
up
didn't
there and
know
trap
you
it.
knew how. I didn't know you knew how to trap stuff.
I know a lot more stuff than you think I know.
Now, did you do it or
Yes.
did Jason Cornette do it? Now, I feel
Christian
like
Scott
Jason
did it.
Cornette probably.
Christian went and bought the stuff.
You bought it for one time.
I bought the shrimp. I bought the fish, and I went out there and threw it in the water. I know how to fish, buddy.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Good job.
Fished on the line. All righty, boys. It's been great. We'll leave it off. We'll leave it with you, Justin, Cody, and Blake. Hope you guys have a great rest of your episode. See you guys.
We got this, dude. Hey, see ya.
See
Be
you,
good.
See you, Christian.
See ya.
Enjoy your vacay. Hey, so let's move on to baseball. So
Mm.
yeah, we're gonna move on to another sport here. So
This is a sore topic.
it is a little bit of a sore topic. You've got to admit, though, that was the best season that we've had in
In a long
our,
time.
Well, ever.
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 Yeah.
First College World Series. I felt like it was big improvements there. But back on June 19th, I don't believe we've done a podcast since then. But Kentucky lost to Florida 15-4. Now, you guys were on vacation when me and Christian did the Cats Cut leading up to this game. And our deepest concerns was that Florida was going to do what they did. Just rack up on the score and just keep hitting and hitting. And so Dominic Nyman, that was one of the names we were concerned about, one of the pitchers. He pitched, he didn't even complete an inning and he gave up 5 earned runs. So just him alone. And then we still lost 15-4. So it was a bad showing.
A disaster.
It was a bad showing, bad game, but overall, good season. So what is your guys? I'll shoot it to Blake. What's your feeling for, how the Kentucky baseball season, how it went, how it ended? What's your thoughts on it?
Obviously, I think, as we said, never been to the World Series before. To get there and not just make it, but win a game there against a great game against North Carolina State. We watched that game on the way to Florida last week, and that was a really good game. And just the way that they, leading up to that point, how they got there, setting a season record in wins, blowing through the regional and super regional, didn't lose a game until the A&M game in the World Series and postseason play. Yeah. So really impressive how they got to where they did. And the two teams that beat them, SEC opponents, and we've talked about how tough the SEC is in baseball.
Absolutely.
And I just think they sort of, ran out of gas. It's sort of like basketball. Sometimes you get a team, they're on a hot streak, unbelievable, and they just sort of run out of steam. They hit a brick wall. I sort of think that's what happened to us. Speaking on your and Christian's concerns, but nothing hang their heads about, and hopefully they will build on to that next year. So,
yeah, absolutely. Cody, what's your thoughts, man?
It's upsetting. Really, it sucks. It just, especially being on vacation. Me and Blake, it kind of ruined my vacation just a little bit, but still had a good time. But it's it's still good to see something other program. I feel like the state of Kentucky is like our main focus is basketball and football. I feel like that's the only two things that people keep up with. And it's really fun to see like the baseball team. How far they went, and a couple of years ago the volleyball team won a national championship. And I think it's hard to, like Blake said, it's hard to play in the SEC in any sport that we are in any game. And, trying to beat Florida, like you played A&M in Florida in the regular season. I'm pretty sure you beat them both in the regular season. it's really hard to beat those teams again like that when you play a series with them. So it's it's unfortunate, but I mean it happens. I'm excited they even got there, and like Blake said, I hope they grow and continue to get back to the World Series every year with what they're doing.
And hopefully the fans, the excitement around it will stay there with
Exactly.
Absolutely. So just some stats for you guys. So Coach Nick, this is his 8th year playing at Kentucky, or coaching at Kentucky for Kentucky baseball. 262 wins, 166 losses in his 8-year career. But congrats to Coach. We finished the 24 season with a record of 46-16. Just like you all talked about how tough the SEC is and things. Tennessee overall was first. Kentucky was second. Texas A&M was third. So just to reiterate, the SEC was extremely tough. And of course, Florida, I mean, they weren't one of the top teams, but just like you said, they got on a streak and they just had momentum, and they had one of the best hitters in all of college baseball too. So, I mean, it was just a tough way to lose. It's a hard, you at least would have liked to have seen a more competitive game for the final game of them in the College World Series. But I hate to ask this question, but I want to ask it. Do you feel like Tennessee winning the World Series overshadows everything that we did this year? I've got to
Don't
ask.
say that word. Don't say that word.
Gotta ask.
I'm gonna throw up.
I'm gonna ask. I mean,
throw up.
As a Kentucky fan, you gotta ask. You gotta look at it like, man, we don't want to acknowledge it, but the fact of the matter is, it's if Texas A&M beats Tennessee 2 or 3 games, wins the World Series, then we'd be like, man, this has been outstanding, been terrific, been a great season. But, sitting there watching that last game, which was a really good game. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but it's just like, man, it just hurt. It just hurts so much.
It hurts, and it hurts. Like if Tennessee wins anything, or for me, it hurts. Like I can't watch. Like it's just it's painful. But they deserved it. I mean, I ain't gonna say they didn't. They were the best team all year, basically. And it was. I will say it was really smart of them to play their best pitchers last. I think that was really smart. That's probably the reason A&M won the first game, because they didn't have very good pitcher pitching. But they deserved it. I ain't gonna say they're not. I'm not gonna give them credit for what they did. They played like that all year. They didn't sweep us, but they won a series against us, and they won 50 games all year. And I don't think a lot of college baseball teams have done that. So they deserved it, basically. So
And I don't think it stings as bad because we're not historically a baseball school. So we still did something we've never done. So I think the weight of going to the World Series, and if we lost to Tennessee in the World Series, maybe a little bit different. But I do think that what we did for the first time will carry a little bit more weight, at least to Kentucky fans. So
there's always next year. It's all that matters.
It's a Bill
next year's our year.
Yeah, it's all year. Probably not going to be.
They sound like basketball fans moving to baseball. Just like, always next year, we got this, y'all.
Hey, we don't have Calipari anymore. We don't have to keep saying that, so we're good.
We got some good guys coming in next year. We're excited.
Yeah. That's all that matters. Right. Well, let's move on to basketball. That's more of my wavelength, anyways. So, NBA draft. How do you guys feel about the draft? I see some highlights back there behind Cody Green, the man, the myth, the legend, Reed Sheppard, going number 3 to the Houston Rockets. Well, how do you feel about that, Mr. Green?
I expected it, I guess. After the season ended, everybody was saying he's top 3, top 5. He's definitely going to one of those teams, and I think the Rockets are a good fit for him. I would have loved for him to went back to 6 and go to the Hornets, obviously, but that's no big deal. I'm a Hornets fan, but I think that's a good fit for him. They're a really young team, and I feel like the Rockets where they're so young. I don't know if they've got any experience really besides. I think AJ, what's his name? Played for Memphis. I can't think of his name. One that always gets in trouble. It's not Draymond Green. Anyway,
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. There you go. Dylan Brooks. Yeah. But I feel like it's a good fit. And Dillingham going to the Timberwolves. Now, did he get picked 4th and traded to the Timberwolves, or did he
picked 8th?
Dillingham got picked 8th by the Spurs, and then before he even walked off stage, they were basically announced interview like, "Oh yeah, he's going to be traded to the Timberwolves." So
Yeah.
but
But I like that one though. I did want to see him go to the San Antonio. I wanted him to be with Pop and Wemby. I think that would have been a good combo with him. But him going to the Timberwolves is insane. That's going to be an insane group.
Yeah. Well, to back up, Conley or even shooting guard, whatever, to back those guys up. I mean, he's going to be a huge spark off the bench because he was used to that at Kentucky, because he never did start.
Yeah.
But we'll let that little sidebar stay over there for a moment. But overall, I think that what.
I'm just going to say, Calipari sit 2 top 10 draft picks this year. I'm just saying he sit both of them on the bench all year. Retard.
UConn had 2 top 10 picks and Kentucky had 2 top 10 picks, and our 2 came off the bench. So it's and we lost. Let's not go back there. It's just frustrating.
Stop, Mike. Stop.
It's just frustrating.
Jack Golke. He got a contract to the Thunder.
He probably did. He
did. After he said, "I know I'm not going to the NBA," he got a contract.
But once you beat Kentucky, you're going to the NBA. So.
I mean, might as well. Shoot, he's set for life now, But no, I tell you what, Reed would have been a really good fit with the Spurs too. But of course, he was drafted so high. You got these 2 guys from France drafted 1 and 2 that I have no idea who they are. Never heard of them before. I don't know. Victor was one thing. Wembanyama was one thing. But you get these other guys nobody's talked about them. I've not heard of them. I don't even know their names. But there was rumor, Reed could potentially go number 1, and to be a guy from London, Kentucky, man, and really humble beginnings, man, and to excel like he did at Kentucky, and make it third pick. I don't blame him for going on to the NBA and being drafted that high. Why not? I wish him nothing but success, and I think he will. I think he'll get reasonable playing time. Where he's at. So I think he'll do good. Antonio Reeves got drafted 47th to the Magic as well. So
no Pelicans.
Yeah. Pelicans.
It was the Pelicans.
Are you sure?
That or they traded him to the Pelicans. I'm pretty sure he's at the Pelicans.
Now, if he's at the Pelicans, I didn't see that trade, so I'll have to check that out.
I'll check it right now while you're
Now, Justin Edwards did not get drafted, but he's on a 2-way contract with the 76ers. Yeah, so Trey Mitchell did not get drafted. I don't think he is.
He signed a summer league contract with the Thunder. He signed a summer league contract with the Thunder. And yes, the Pelicans traded into the second round to get Antonio Reeves. So he is on the Pelicans.
Well, good deal. Well,
I like that better than the Magic. I like him on that team better than I do him being on the Magic. Honestly.
Gotcha. So. I think he'll be just a great, great guy coming off the bench. Be a great shooter. So I think it'll be. I know the draft overall was down, but I was glad to see these guys. They're going. Most of these guys are going somewhere. So pretty excited about that. I know Christian's out right now, but he did share some big contracts this season for new contracts from Kentucky players in the NBA. So I was going to go over a few of these and see what your thoughts are on this. So Jamal Murray signed a 4-year contract with the Nuggets, $209 million. Just a little chump change there, Bam with the Heat, 3-year contract, $166 million. Tyrese Maxey, 76ers, 5-year, $175 million. And then Malik Monk, he signed with the Kings 4 years, $78 million. And, Emmanuel Quickley, Raptors 5-year, $175 million. That's some big money right there for those guys. I think I was kind of shocked, Quickley, got that much from the Raptors, because that's a lot of money. But overall, I guess the question would be, should Coach Cal get any credit for this?
Nope. No, he has to, I guess. He obviously coached all of them, so I guess he got to give him a little credit. But
that's what he was best at. He was best at putting kids in the league, and he did it.
It wasn't coaching. It wasn't coaching. It was just him putting players in the league. He just could not coach them.
Man, it didn't matter if these guys played for Kansas or UConn.
They don't want
North
national
Carolina.
Championship.
They're still in the league, going to be making big money, man.
Oh yeah.
So, but I am glad these guys are being successful, doing good in the league. So, shout out to these guys. So, but, but,
Look at man right there. Look at he's about to, that's the man. Look at him. Oh
Yes, sir.
wow, he thought he missed it, but he still made it. That's how good he
The
is.
number 3 draft pick. I mean, he's basically just down the road from us. I mean,
Yeah,
there we go. Let's go to
Not
Rocket
too
Charlotte
bad.
Hornets game. What do you think?
I'm down.
Let's go.
I'm wearing a half Reed jersey, half LaMelo jersey. I'm
Let's do it.
If I'm not mistaken,
go.
Cody, didn't you like play against Reed your freshman year? Like
I did. I sure did. Yeah, I
mean,
scored 37 points on him. I broke his ankles a couple times. He had to get out of the game because I did it real
No, I'm
bad
being-
one time. But
I'm being for real. He would have been in like 5th grade.
Yeah, he would have been in like 4th grade. That's not.
But I
possible.
thought he was okay. We know some people that's played against him. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
we have some friends.
But very impressive.
It'd probably be cheaper to go watch him play Charlotte Hornets than it
Yeah,
was to watch him play at Rupp for any game of the season. Probably
Yes,
that's
the
gonna be my
Hornets
guess. I don't know, but
It's gonna
I'm
be
just
like
gonna
$1
assume.
ticket. Yeah, you can probably.
They're gonna
walk
pay
on the
you.
court.
Come
You
watch.
could probably walk on the court and play for them. That's how bad we are.
Meanwhile, I know we what do we have now? The most first round draft picks of all time.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure.
I think we only had. I think
Austin
we
Duke.
only had 3. I think UConn had 4 this year. I think they had 2 in
Yeah.
the top 10 as well, and then.
But I mean
2
all
other
time.
guys that got. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
all
are.
time.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, of course, like I said, that was sort of the norm with Calipari guys going to the NBA. And, of course, we don't expect that as much with Mark. So that's going to be exciting to see how that turns out. Go from an NBA prep school to, holding guys 2, 3, 4 years and see how that works out on the collegiate level and not just them getting paid the big bucks when they get to the league. So
Now I don't know if you guys watched the first practice of Mark Pope. I don't know. Did you all watch it at any?
I did not. Oh.
Did you watch it, Blake?
I've seen some articles about it. I didn't actually get to watch it.
When I watched it, and I actually really liked it because a lot of the clips that they're showing is him saying, "You all got to coach each other. I'm on the sideline, but you guys are on the court playing. Like I can't tell you everything. Like you've got to communicate." And I think that's one of his big things that he tries to set with those kids is, you all are on the court playing. You've got to you got to communicate. You got to be like, you all got to be in sync together. You got to be one. So I feel like that's one of his big motives is like communicate, talk. You all are coaching each other. You all are playing the game.
Yeah.
So
I will say.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that obviously we have football coming up. So I know a lot of attention is there. And with baseball just finishing up, of course, we've been talking about that a lot. But I do feel like it's a very important time for the basketball program for Mark right now in his first season because the excitement of him being announced, I mean, it's still there, but it's not as big of a discussion as it was. And now he's getting his first practices with the entire team together. So I think these first few practices, the energy, attitude, and impressions that are made in them is a very important thing for how we go throughout the summer and how the season starts off. So it's good to hear that things are at least starting on a good note because I think Mark Pope said all the right things when he was introduced, but it's another thing for those things to start translating in practice and in games. So hopefully making the steps in the right direction there.
Yeah. I believe the maturity level of the players, where predominantly are older players, you don't have the egos that you would have to typically deal with a lot of freshman players that are, McDonald's All-Americans, top players, and having to deal with all these, personalities. I know it takes time to build chemistry, but I feel like that if you've got older, more mature players and they're all there to represent Kentucky for the same purpose, same goal to win a championship, I feel like that is going to breed success. So I definitely look forward, which I mean, all sports, I think Kentucky is really, on good strides all the way around. So, but I am definitely looking forward to that. I was going to ask you guys something, just see what your thoughts were, because with college sports right now, huge dilemma with the NIL, the transfer portal, stuff like that. People are just kind of like, man, I'm so sick of it. A lot of your older, mature coaches aren't as successful in this trend right now as they were, 5 to 10 years ago. And so if you were to tell the NCAA or suggest, okay, how can we remedy the transfer portal, the NIL, the issues that are going on, and mainly in I know it's mainly football and basketball because that's going to be your main money sports, but like, how do you remedy this? What would be your suggestion? Say, okay, this would be the best way to fix that.
Go ahead,
what do you
Blake.
think? Yeah, go ahead, Blake. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to say I think it's okay for players to get paid. I do.
Absolutely. I do too.
When it is their name, image, and likeness. The problem is it's there's no guidelines really right now. And so, if Cody is playing for Kentucky, I think that jersey sales that he has, all those different things that he does to bring the school revenue, he should get some share of that. And then, of course, if businesses want to do partnerships with you, that's all good and everything. The thing that I have a problem with is just like straight up, here's you a salary to come here and play here. I don't think that's right. Like, come play for the school. What money you make or help bring in, you get a share of that. But I don't like it when schools can technically just buy players by saying, hey, here's what we'll give you just to come here. I don't think that's what NIL is about, but that's what it is. And it's sort of okay right now because there are no true strict guidelines on it. So okay with it being paid, but I think no salaries.
Yeah. What do you think, Cody? What's your take
Yeah,
on that?
I don't like the fact that the universities can pay the player to come play for them. I like what Blake said about they can do all they want with their jerseys and other businesses that they're doing by themselves. But I think the fact that you can go pay a player a couple $1 million just to come play for your university, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think that takes away the purpose of recruiting. I feel like that takes away, like, most of your kids, obviously they're going to chase money. They're not going to chase how they love the university and all this stuff. And that's like the transfer portal. I think that's why it's so big, because some of these kids go to like some of these kids will probably go to UCLA and like where it's in California or USC, and they're getting paid a lot to go play there. Yeah. And then you see a lot of them go in the transfer portal because it's like, that's not the school I wanted to play for. This is not what I thought it was going to be, even though the money's really nice. This is not what I like atmosphere-wise to be, and that's why I'm going to go to a different school. So I think, like Blake said, there's no guidelines to like how the money comes in and comes out and comes to the players. There's nothing to do anything about anything. So
I think
I'm not a fan of the NIL whatsoever. Besides what I said, they're making money on their own terms, not by the university or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the thought of about a commission base where if you got this much jersey sales, you do this or that. I do like the thought of that. And my thinking with it, I think, there should be at minimum 2-year contracts. So, for me, I feel like that if you said, hey, I want to go, I'm here a year and then I'm going to the league. I feel like that, let's take basketball, for example, they should either go overseas or go G League or something and get that 1 year and just go to the NBA. Whereas in college, in order to build chemistry and be successful, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying this is, absolutely right. My opinion is that, you should be able to say, hey, 2 years, if your first year you get paid $500,000, second year you stay with us, you get paid $1 million or whatever plus commission on jersey sales or something. Just something to where they have to stay, and then if they transfer, set out a year or whatever, that there's some type of guideline, some type of stipulation where where you go ahead and say, hey, there has to be some commitment to the university and to the fan base. That way, because the one and done is going to be, well over half of your team all across in major D1 in football, basketball, everything. You're going to see a lot of that, where people are transferring or whatever. And so, that's just my opinion on that. So Bush said the bill was passed, the university would be paying them soon. So I actually got that. Did you guys see that last month?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So did you see that, Blake?
No, I didn't see that. I was going to ask you guys. I've seen this in college football here lately, and I've not done a ton of reading on it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but the elimination of walk-ons, is this something to do, Cody, with the NIL situation? Is the elimination of walk-ons? I'm not sure if you've seen that, but I've seen some quick articles, and people like Kirby Smart and Lane Kiffin have offered to say, hey, we need walk-ons, and if you're looking for somebody to foot the bill, we'll pay the walk-ons so that they can still have a walk-on. I don't know if that has something to do with the NIL state in college football right now, but if it is, and from my understanding, it is to a degree, I think that shows you how messed up things are right now. Is you got people pushing for the elimination of walk-ons, and like I've seen somebody say, walk-ons, like it or not, they're important to the culture of teams and schools, practices, all those different things. So I just thought that was crazy that, you're in a place, possibly because of NIL, some people pushing for the elimination of walk-ons.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I think that's probably part of the NIL problem. And I was going to say this also. It's like when you're getting paid by the university, I feel like that takes away the like if you're wanting to go to the NFL, what's the one reason you're wanting to go to the NFL or the NBA? You're wanting to go make a lot of money. You're wanting to be the best player you can in college. I feel like some players will get paid in college and they'll just be like, well, I'm not even going to really try. I'm getting paid this much. I'm not going to try the best that I can. I agree with Blake for once. I know we all did there for just a second, Bush. It was actually amazing. But the walk-on thing is like I feel like you have to have walk-ons on any team, any sporting team that you have. I mean, they're really important for your team. But again, the NIL is it's a mess. And I mean, if they can set guidelines, like we were saying, to what you were saying, I think that would fix it. But right now, it's a mess. I don't agree with any of it.
Yeah, you need walk-ons for practice purposes. If anything else, I mean, you got to have it. You need it, So especially in football, you've got so many, spots in football. So I mean, you've got to have it. I mean, it's just crazy. So back to a minute ago. So last month there was a settlement between the NCAA and the 5 major power conferences. So the ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and Pac-12. They accepted it was almost $2.8 billion in damages it was over 10 years to nearly 14,000 athletes dating from 2016 to now. And so basically and it's going to probably continue all the way into 2026, going back and paying players, what they deserve, that sort of thing. And so, which again, I have no problem with players getting paid because I mean, they make a crazy money for the university. So for me personally, I don't have a problem with it. But here's what's crazy. They created a system where these schools can pay up to $20 million a year to pay students across all sports. So like $21 million a year to pay student athletes. And I mean, and to just use that money. I mean, that's just, I don't know. To me, that's crazy,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's crazy to me, but I mean, so it's just going to be a war chest of money coming through to pay these guys to come. And again, there needs to be stipulations. There needs to be guidelines to have some type of accountability. Again, I understand, listen, if I'm 17, 18 years old, going to play, D1 and have an opportunity to make some money, but, hey, just do what you got to do, so, But most of this money is going to be used in basketball and football. Football is going to be number one. And basketball, because just football generates the most money. So, but so just crazy. But anyway, so moving on. So last week, me and Christian, we discussed a draft. We did our top 5 favorite athletes from Kentucky, and that's all across all sports. So I was going to pop that question on you guys too, see what your thoughts were between you two. If you were to take a draft of your all-time favorite, and again, it's all sports, football, basketball, baseball, whatever. If you were to say your favorite athletes in Kentucky, who would they be? Cody, I'll start with you.
Mine's mainly going to be football and basketball. I feel like me and Blake don't watch enough baseball or anything to know anybody.
Okay.
So I would. That's kind of tough for me. I would say my favorite player, just because I grew up watching him at Kentucky for those years, was Randall Cobb for me. If I'm not my number one, I would put Cobb, and then I'll go. Can I say secretary?
Well, you go back and forth. We'll let Blake go. Blake,
Okay. I thought that's what you were wanting to do, but you didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
So I just.
Hey, sorry, my fault. Say, listen, I'm just temporarily filling in for Christian.
No big deal.
You've got to give me some grace here.
No big deal.
I can't do it like Christian. So my bad. He's swimming with gators. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Blake, who you got?
First and foremost, I'm going to go with John Wall, just because of the excitement around him. That was the first really full Kentucky basketball season I remember, and such a fun team. So I'm going to go with John Wall for one of my top ones.
It's good.
And me or Cody?
We'll go back to Cody. Cody, number 2, what you got?
I'm going to go on a player on that same exact team. I'm going to go DeMarcus Cousins as my number 2. I really like DeMarcus Cousins.
Gotcha.
Me being a big guy, I like the centers and power forwards in basketball. So that's my favorite. So
sounds good. Blake, what you got?
I have to go again with the kid just down the street, Reed. So just his whole story, perfect. So I'm gonna go with Reed.
Inspiration to all ball players from Southeast Kentucky. So.
Cody, you can still make it.
I can. I'll be on that top 5 list soon, Blake. It's okay.
Cody,
don't give up.
Never too late. Who you got number 3, Cody?
Andre Woodson, number 3. I feel like that was the first quarterback at Kentucky since Tim Couch has been really good in a long time for them in that time period that he was playing. So, and we were winning the Music City Bowl for a couple times there. So I liked when I was a kid watching those games and stuff. So that's my number 3.
Gotcha. What you got?
I want to switch over to football, and I'm going to go with Randall Cobb because I remember him when I was little, and we were not very good, but he was very good. So he was one of the few standout football players at the time. So I'm going to go with Randall Cobb.
Okay.
4, I'm going to go with I'm going to go football again. I want to go everybody really like Benny Snell, but I like C-Rod a lot better. He is probably the first. No, I can't say that. He's one-on-one. He's the first football player that I've met in person. So, and he's a really cool dude. And he was a beast on the field. So,
did he ask for your autograph?
He sure did. I gave him a mini Bell County helmet, put my autograph right on the helmet. So,
awesome. Who you got, Blake?
I want to go with Tyler Eulis for me.
I had Tyler and Reed both, so yeah, I respect those picks as well. Who's your last pick, Cody?
There's 2 that I'm teeter-totting with here. I'm gonna go. I think it's the right person I'm thinking of. Is it Damian Collins that played for us there? Is that who I'm thinking of? Right? No, we're number. Okay, no, I'm not gonna go with him. I'll just do Reed. I'll go Reed at number 5. I'll do Reed.
Keep it simple.
I just do.
total different direction. Dang, dude.
No, actually,
Ended-
my actual number 5. I was just joking on the first two. Wenyen Gabriel is my number 5. Wenyen Gabriel,
Interesting.
the
That is
man.
that's an interesting pick.
I
Man.
love watching Wenyen Gabriel.
Gotcha.
Like
So I'm gonna go
I don't know
5.
about top 5. I'm going to end with football again from probably one of the best teams we've had, Josh Allen. So that team, his last year he was part of the team that broke the streak. So against Florida, I'm going to go Josh Allen.
Man, if you're gonna say anybody on that team, why didn't you say Cash Daniels?
Uh,
I might put him as my number 5. I kind of
Hey,
forgot
okay.
about Cash.
Josh
I'll go
Josh Allen,
Cash.
5A, Cash 5B.
Cash Money Daniels, dude. You can't forget about him. He led that whole team, dude. He was the heartbeat of that 2018 team, man.
Awesome.
That's how
But-
I'll have to end it.
Well, if these two, and of course I've seen these couple videos, come across, on TikTok and stuff, but two legends in basketball that would have been awesome if that had intended to come to Kentucky was Larry Bird and Tracy McGrady. And
Oh, yeah.
dude, could you imagine if we had, like, in our history and pedigree, add them two on top of it? I mean, they would have been the two best that ever came to Kentucky. So,
No.
I don't know if you guys had seen that. So T-Mac was doing an interview, and he was completely sold. He said, dude, they were living it up. Basketball players are in Kentucky. They're treated so good, royalty. And he's like, and I was committed to go there. And he said, my high school coach, Adidas, came with an offer. And he said, here I am, like 18 years old. I believe it was like for $12 million or something. He's like, and he took it, went straight to the NBA. But dude, man, how awesome would that have been? Because he was completely sold on Kentucky. And of course, Larry Bird, they stopped recruiting him. So that's why he didn't come. But those would have been the two, like, biggest legends, in my opinion, if they both would have came, followed through.
Easily.
Yeah.
I'm going to hardly disagree with you on the Tracy McGrady. I cannot put Drew Brees over Tracy McGrady. I cannot. Like, if Drew Brees would have been you see what he did in the NFL.
Right.
I mean, he would have probably been really good at Kentucky. It just depends on the team he would have been playing on. But
right.
I can't put him. I can't put McGrady over Drew Brees. There's no shot. No shot.
Well, you're talking to a basketball guy, so I have to say, dude,
Yeah.
T-Mac would have been awesome. Well, I mean,
It would have been awesome. It would have been awesome. Now, what team would he have played on?
Oh, gosh, I don't know, man. I'd have to look.
What year did he get drafted?
I can't. I'm not sure. I don't know off the top of my head. But man, when he was in the league prime, man, he was fascinating.
Would he have been on that 96 through 98 team?
Possibly so. But anyway, I think that would have been
1997 is when he got drafted.
Imagine that. That would have been
So
insane.
that team got beat by Arizona in
We'd
the
have won that
final.
game.
wow.
We'd have won that game.
Dude, that's something, man. That'd have been crazy. Yeah.
Cody,
man.
I got a question for you.
Oh gosh.
You're good at
Yes,
nicknames, and I like this comment from Missy. She said, "What are we going to nickname this basketball team this year? I'm voting for the Captain's Cats." So,
Oh, that's a
comeback
good
Cats,
one.
The Unbeatables, the Unforgettables. What's your nickname for them, Cody?
I don't know. I haven't really thought of a nickname. But
That's it. What's the think on that one?
yeah, I'll have to think on that one and say it on the
On the
next
spot.
podcast.
Yeah.
Justin, you
Okay.
got any?
Dude, I ain't got nothing. I have to think about that for a minute. I'm pretty good on the rhymes and jazz, but I don't, or like but I'll have to think on that for a minute. That's something to think about. What about you, Blake? What you got?
Yeah, Blake.
Buddy? I thought it was a good question. I don't have an answer.
It's a really good question.
It is. And I liked her
Good job.
answer, the Captain's
Yeah.
Cats. I like that one. That was really good.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Mark
man.
Pope was the captain on the 96 team. So.
That's why it said Captain's Cats. Thanks. Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
Speaking of that team, did you guys see where Rick Pitino came back onto KSR? And
Speaking of
he's
Larry
also
Bird,
a
by the way.
donor He's a donor of the Kentucky football team now, Rick Pitino. So
Football, and
I
he
guess,
said he would actually put money into the basketball program as
yeah.
well.
So I guess
He was willing.
hiring one of his former players, all is good. Among Big Blue Nation and that guy. So
Yeah. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. I like it, man.
Cody, you've
Much
got it going
respect.
on back there, man.
Yeah, I know. For you all listening on the radio, I've got this. I did have Reed Shepherd playing in the background. If you if you're watching this live on Facebook, you can see it or anything. But now it's playing Larry Bird. I don't know why it's on Larry Bird now, but it's on Larry
I wasn't going to tell
Bird.
you to get out of the way so we could watch the games. Scoot over.
You're blocking the screen.
Sorry. Let's
Yeah.
scoot over. You can watch the rest of it for just a second.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Nah, that's good. Hey, see from Bush, he donated 15,000 and is a member of the 500 Club.
Slick
So,
Rick.
let's go. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Anything else you want to talk about with Kentucky sports? I think we had a pretty good show. Nailed a lot there. So shout out. We appreciate everybody watching. And before we close, we always do this. We close with a Bible verse. Oh no! Did you?
I can't even look one up. My laptop's dead. My phone, I can't even grab my phone. I might have to skip.
My God.
Cody.
I might have to skip out on this one.
Cody, what is okay? Then we'll give you a quiz and see if you get the verse right. What is the shortest verse of the Bible? What's the words? It's 2 words. Jesus wept. It's gonna be your verse.
You didn't give him a chance. Come on.
Yeah, you didn't even let me. Okay,
he was
I got a verse. I
didn't even let him have a chance.
Because he was completely clueless.
I was thinking. You didn't even let me process.
Come on now, man.
Okay, I got a Bible. I'll get a verse. I'll just say the verse that everybody knows, John 3:16. Okay. I've done it before, so I'm just going to say John 3:16 is my verse for the day. So you all can just go ahead. I'm going to let you all talk about the Lord for just a second, and then we can go.
Go ahead. Well, go ahead and say your Bible verse. You can say it again.
Oh, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son.
Yep.
Sorry, I wasn't. That's the one thing I forgetting to do is the Bible verse. Sorry, Lord.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. Blake, what do you got?
I feel like Blake laughs at me every time I do the Bible verse.
Dude, I love you. I do. I love you.
Yeah.
Your Bible verses, I do. You know, Proverbs 25:28 says, "He who has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that's broken down and without walls." So we need some self-control and self-accountability.
Gotcha. Sounds good. I like it. Zechariah 4:6. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord. So basically, it's just saying,
Amen.
God will not allow you to live a life that doesn't require Him. We all face things that are beyond our control, circumstances and issues in life. And if it's overcoming an obstacle, if it's a vision or goals, things that you set for your life, I understand, know that it takes His strength and His might and power to succeed. So lean not on your own understanding, but acknowledge Him, and He'll direct your path. So appreciate it. Yeah, so good. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Shout out to Judy. We love you, Judy.
We love you, Judy.
Nan. Love you, Nan.
No Judy. It's Nan. It's Nan.
Hey, it's been a great one. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next
pleasure.
Hey, go follow us on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if you even have it. And again, thanks to Brian for letting us be on the radio for you all now listening on the radio. This is a Friday.
And don't forget the special guest.
If our special guest Kelvin Joseph? Yeah, I said that right. Yeah, Kelvin Joseph.
Kelvin or Kevin, Cody?
Is it Kelvin or Kevin? I can't remember.
It's Kelvin. It's Kelvin.
It's
some guy's going to join us next week.
I'm sorry, man. Some guy's going to join us. They played at Kentucky. You all had to come listen. But if you're listening on the radio, follow us on all platforms, and we'd really appreciate you. And again, Brian, thank you for letting us have the opportunity to be on here and share what we're doing. So
Sounds
Go
good.
Cats.
Anybody else you want to thank, Cody?
I want to thank Christian Scott. I really do. Just, the love that he has for this podcast, the hatred he has for all of us. We just really appreciate him so much. And, that's it. I ain't thanking nobody else.
Pleasure being on here with you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go Cats. Go Cats.
Go
That's
Cats.
Big Blue.
Yeah.